Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Let's get crafting. My inspiration for this look for less came from Antique Farmhouse. I loved these beautiful wall geometric art pieces, but I did not want to pay the price. So I found some of these mirrored frames at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be actually only using 3 of them, but I'm showing that I was able to find 4. And you're going to go ahead and remove the packaging and then remove the screws from the back side. There are, I think, 8 screws on this, and I just used a little tiny eyeglass kit screw remover to be able to take all those screws out. Then I took it outside and I spray painted it white, and you can see that we're going to be using some of these jumbo tongue depressor sticks that I pick up from the Dollar Tree. I need 8 of them, as well as some shish kebab sticks. Now I'm going to be cutting them down to size because we want to make a little bit of a stronger base for our larger tongue depressor sticks to be able to bond to. So we're adding these shish kebab sticks in here to be able to really give a bigger base for our wood to go around it. You can see that I cut it down to size and I'm gluing it to the part where the screws used to go into. Once those were all in place, I went ahead and cut off the rounded tips of the larger tongue depressor sticks, and now I'm just going to bring the corners together. I'm going to do 2 like that, and then I'm going to have 2 be a little bit longer because you want to be able to make sure that everything is nice and strong and secure, especially if you're going to be displaying it in your home. I really do try to find ways to make things look really high end without them looking like we made things from the Dollar Tree. Then you can see that I'm starting to put them on the corners, and with a lot of hot glue, I'm making sure that things are gluing really well. But before I glue this longer piece down where I hadn't cut down the sides, I wanted to make sure I got the sizing right. Now I'm going to add on all of the glue. I'm going to come into those corners and then onto those shish kebab sticks that we had earlier, and you can see here that it's really giving it a bigger surface to be able to bond to the frame. Then just make sure you push down really hard, wipe off any of that extra glue that might be pushing out from it, and then once it's all dry, you're going to flip it over, and then I'm using brown paint, a little bit of black paint, and some water to create a stain, and I'm just going to go along the edge. And you could technically use painter sticks that are longer so you don't have all these seams, but I promise you the finished look looks so farmhouse, so cute. It looks very rustic in my personal opinion, so I just went with these tongue depressor sticks because I knew I could get the look and look really beautiful at the same time. So I'm coming in with my faux stain, and I'm just going to go over all of those sticks, making sure I'm not getting any on the white frame itself. And then I'm also going to do the back side just so when people turn it over, it looks finished on the back side. I always like to make sure both sides look good. And then once that was all dry, I came back in with some white paint and dry brushed on some white paint. And this is the part where I said it's going to look so farmhouse that you won't even notice those sticks, and we're saving tons of money doing it this way. And now I'm going to come in with some brown, and I'm going to dry brush on the white spray paint, and can you believe it? Look at this savings. I ended up spending about $2 on each frame. I wouldn't even say that. I would say I probably spent about $1.25 on each frame. This inspiration was found at Antique Farmhouse, and I just would never pay $42 for this because I was able to find this A and Z. They were on clearance, which made it even more affordable, and then I already had this wood in my garage. So I went ahead and just cut them down to the size that was mentioned as the inspiration. At the very end, they are 6 inches by 9 inches tall. And they turn out so like for the price, so much more affordable. So what I did was I made my cuts first, and now I'm just lining up the wood so I can get the exact spot where I need to drill my screws through. You can see that I'm just going through and then following back in with my countersink drill bit, making sure that the screws will be able to sink down into the wood so that they're laying flat when it's up against a book. Once I had that all done, I went ahead and inserted my screws, went through just enough that I would be able to then line up the screws into those pre-drill holes on the bottom part of my book holders. And then I just went all the way through with the rest of the screw until it was flat down into my countersink hole. Once those were screwed together, I then was able to move on to my two letters, my A and my Z. Now just gluing these down is going to be a hot mess. They're going to break off, and I did not want that to happen. So I'm now going to be drilling in some very shallow holes into my letters, deep enough to be able to allow some support and stability with these skewer sticks to be able to hold and lock the letters down onto the block. And so I'm just going in, and now I'm cutting down these skewer shish kebab sticks, and I'm going to cut down a few of them, 2 for each letter. I went ahead and hot glued those inside so that way it will be nice and secure. Now I put the sticks in the letters first, and once I had those nice and strong and glued into place, I took the letter and those sticks and I lined them up so that I would get the positioning right for my next drill hole. Went ahead and drilled into the base of the book holder stands. And then after I got those drilled out, I was able to cut down the actual size that I needed, added in some more hot glue, and then popped my Z right onto that book holder. Now this was the easiest project to do. If you have any sort of skills at all with a table saw and a drill, I will highly recommend this because it was so fast, so quick to make, and I saved a ton of money doing it myself. Then I took it outside and I spray painted everything black because I want to try to get that wood color that we saw in the inspiration. And I'm coming in with a chestnut brown, and I'm just kind of lightly brushing on the brown so you get that different depth of the wood colors. And I just keep taking it one layer at a time until I get the desired color that I wanted. And then this is the finished look, and I saved myself so much money. This inspiration came from Antique Farmhouse. I love these crates, but I would not pay $89 for them. So we're going to use some supplies from the Dollar Tree, 2 of these chalkboard frames, and then 10 of these painter sticks that you can get from a home improvement store. And then we're going to simply start by putting 3 on the shorter side of the chalkboard frames. I put some hot glue down first, and then I used my staple gun and stapled it into place. So you can see I've got 3 on each of the shorter sides, and then on the bottom side I've got 4 more. So at this point it's created this cute, darling little crate, and completely on budget for a little bit under $3. Now I'm going to take some black paint, brown paint, and water, mix it all together to create a faux stain. And now I'm going to just simply paint that right onto the box itself, and it absorbs in, still showing the wood grain, and looks so much like the inspiration. Then I'm going to come in with some white paint and dry brush on it to distress it a little bit and make it look more rustic farmhouse, and then sand where I've got too much. And here it is, the inspiration versus mine, where I've saved a ton of money. Now, this inspiration comes from Antique Farmhouse, and I know that their signs are so expensive sometimes, and again, we could recreate exactly how it would look, but wood is really expensive right now. So I decided to use a sign from the Dollar Tree because I wanted you to see that you don't have to have a ton of expensive wood cutting tools if you don't feel comfortable with them. So I'm going to take a Dollar Tree approach to this sign to show you how affordable you can make it. Now I went ahead and just used one of these Christmas leftover signs from last year. I painted the whole thing white, and then now you see me putting down these thicker tongue depressor sticks that I pick up from Walmart in their craft section. I used a black and brown water stain on them, and now I'm just cutting them down to size so that I can put a frame around that sign. Now again, if you have the tools to be able to recreate the sign, you definitely could get it looking exactly just like the sign and inspiration. But I wanted to show you how you could take something as inspiration and then do it for a lot less using products from the Dollar Tree or just things that you have around in your craft room when you get creative. So now I'm just gluing on these different wood sticks that I've stained. And once I've got all the bottom, I go on to the sides. I figured that this would be the easiest way to get the snuggest fit. You want to make sure that your seams are really close to one another so you don't see any of the white popping out. Then at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about how it looks around the sides. And then, friends, I discovered something. You know how we're always all trying to get the glitter off of these signs and trying to sand them or get the papers off, and it's a mess. I realized today when I was working on this project that if you use your heat gun, guess what? It peels off. I was so excited. I can't tell you how many times I've spent trying to peel these things off in so many different ways, and it comes off so much easier with a heat gun. I'll link my heat gun down below if you're interested. I'm going to try it on a couple other signs moving forward in other videos just to make sure, but on this one it came off so easy and I was so excited I had to share in this video. Now I'm going to move on to my actual name on the sign. Now the inspiration just said Main Street, but I'm going to do East Main Street because these signs from the Dollar Tree are a little bit longer. I could have cut it down so that it wouldn't be so long, but this is the fun part about when you make it your own and you customize it. You don't necessarily have to go through all the efforts to change it completely. You take your inspiration and run with it. Then I just Mod Podged on those letters and saved myself a ton of money. For this inspiration, I loved this planter, but it even sold out for $48. I could not believe that, friends. Oh, we're going to do it for so much less. So I'm going to take this container that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just take off the sticker. And then using my Crop-A-Dile Big Bite, this is the larger version of the smaller Crop-A-Dile tool you see me use here a lot on my channel. I'm going to just punch holes because this thing goes through wood, metal, plastic, and it does a fantastic job. You could also use a drill and drill out the holes if you wanted to. And I'm going to just go around until I've created my holes. My holes are about an inch apart from each other. And once I've gone all the way around, it's ready to take outside and spray paint white. So at this point, I'm going to use this hula grass skirt that they have at the Dollar Tree. I actually like this a lot. I always buy a bunch of these whenever they come out because you end up getting a lot for what is in the pack for just $1. Then I'm going to just simply take some of the strands from that hula skirt, the raffia, and I'm just going to weave it through my bucket. Now there are so many different ways to weave these through the holes. On the inspiration, they actually skipped the middle hole and did more of a V versus going to a side angle like I'm doing here. I actually liked my pattern more than what the original one was, and I didn't want the raffia going up around the top lip of the bucket. Again, this was my preference on how I did it, but it's very easy to recreate the pattern that they had on the inspiration over at Antique Farmhouse. So once you've gone all the way around, you're going to want to make sure that they're secured on the inside. So make sure you end up in a spot inside the bucket where you're able to tie your knot and secure it. You could also use some hot glue, but too much hot glue can melt the raffia pieces. I've actually had that happen before. So here's the inspiration and here's mine. I hope you enjoyed this quick video today. I had so much fun doing these Look for Less projects. Remember, friends, you can have a beautiful home on a strict budget. It just takes you using your hands and getting some inspiration and creativity to make these items. Remember to check out this video from a couple of days ago and some of these other ones that you might be interested in that are a lot similar to this one you watched today if you enjoyed it. And please do give this video a thumbs up. And until the next episode, bye friends!